Updating our top story for you, the historic Vatican Summit of the world's bishops and the Pope to stop clerical sex abuse. At today's meeting, Cardinal Blaise Cupich of Chicago saying the church needs transparency.
All mechanisms for reporting allegations of abuse or mishandling of abuse cases against a bishop should be transparent and well known to the faithful.
Also leading today's discussion, India's Cardinal Oswald Gracia speaking about the need for justice and healing for survivors as part of our team coverage of the groundbreaking summit. And to further explain what its impact will be, we are joined by Father Sam Sawyer, executive editor at America Magazine. Father Sawyer, thank you so much for being with us.
Very good to be here.
Pleasure
Thank
to talk to you. So earlier, our correspondents Christopher White and Tim Harfman, they reported that Cardinal Cupich wants three things for this summit. I'm going to read them for you. Standards for investigating bishops, reporting allegations to ensure transparency, and implementing concrete procedures. All that said, they all ultimately point to accountability. Lay people have wanted this for a very long time. First step or all talk?
I think it is a first step. And in fact, I would say that in many places it is a third, fourth, or fifth step. Certainly in the United States, where we've been dealing with this this question of abuse in the church in a significant way since 2002, and the first time that the abuse crisis came to national attention here. I mean, the American church has done quite a lot with the Dallas Charter and our zero tolerance standards, which isn't to say that we're done. We have plenty left to do, but we've made significant strides. I think one of the things that I'm hopeful for from this summit is that some of the reforms that have already happened in the American church can be broadened and adopted more internationally in places that still haven't even begun to deal with this.
Another point of conversation that we've all been exploring is Pope Francis unveiling 21 points of reflection, steps he believes that the church should take to tackle this crisis. You've seen the list. Which of these stand out most to you?
One that certainly jumps out to me is the standard about procedures for holding bishops accountable, because I think this is what we've all felt as one of the missing pieces in the American response, certainly, and especially since the revelations of the Pennsylvania grand jury report and the other parts of this crisis that have unfolded in the U.S. over the last 6 months or so, that when a bishop commits abuse himself, as we see in the case of former Cardinal and former Archbishop McCarrick, who's now been laicized, or when a bishop has failed to implement the standards to protect children, how is that bishop held accountable? And even when Pope Francis is willing to act on it, as he has with McCarrick, often there's questions about what procedures were followed or how transparent the whole process was. So I think if that standard really putting teeth to the procedures that the church has and making it clear to the faithful how bishops are being held accountable for their governance, I think that would be a hugely important outcome.
Now, Pope Francis is supposed to speak this weekend. What might he tell his audience? Or better yet, what should he tell his audience? And should the words zero tolerance be part of that conversation?
I think it might help if the words zero tolerance are part of that conversation. I think what people need to hear is that Pope Francis understands how painful it's been to watch the church and the bishops respond to this so slowly. And if he can help people understand that he gets that he knows that we're waiting and that we need a response now because the church is in pain and wounded, I think that will help.
Father Sawyer, we're going to have to leave it there, but I really appreciate your perspective and insight. Thank you so much. We're going to have you back. Definitely.
Thank you. I'd enjoy that.